as said the prophet Isaiah.
Praise the Lord. This was the account of John the Baptist. The Pharisees gathered and they want to find out the identity of John the Baptist. Are you the prophet we are waiting for? Are you the Isaiah? Are you an apostle? Are you the evangelist? And John looked at them and said, I am none of these things, but I am a voice crying in the wilderness. The first thing that God wants to intend to do with our life is that He wants to raise voice of revival from Benue State. We don't need to carry title as prophet, apostles, any title you can talk about. But the question, when they begin to see your manifestation, they begin to ask questions. What is your identity? Because remember, the father of John the Baptist was a high priest. The man was in the temple, carried a regalia as a priest, but that man don't have access to the voice of God. He was a high priest, but he can't tell what God is saying per time. And that is why the major obstacles that Jesus had in his time were men in the synagogue. The reason is that they carry the scroll, but they have not journeyed to where the voice of God is. That even when Jesus came to fulfill prophecy, because they are not in tune with the voice of God, they are not aware of it. Now, no man can have access to the voice of God until that man has fulfilled the protocol of tarrying. Remember, John the Baptist was separated from the crowd. The Bible said that man lived in the wilderness and he was eating locusts because the voice of God is precious and is expensive. The voice of God cannot be found on the street. The voice of God can only be found in the sacred place where men tarry. So when John the Baptist tarried there in the wilderness, and suddenly he stumbled on the voice of God, because in the voice of God, that is where you receive your body. A man that receives God's voice will receive his body. Without a voice, there can be no body. Suddenly, John the Baptist came with a body. His body was to reconcile Israel back to God. But these things, the people in the synagogue, the Pharisees, they are not aware. The reason was that this man in the synagogue, they don't know the path to tarry. So when John the Baptist tarried in the wilderness, and the voice of God become a reality to him, because the voice of God that you heard, you will become an ambassador to that voice. Is that voice that you represent your generation. A man that have not heard the voice of God have no message to preach, because every man speaks according to the voice he heard. A man that have not received from the Lord have nothing to speak. He can only imitate men that have received. So when John the Baptist waited, because one of the burden of this conference is that God will bring us to a point that we cannot do than to wait and tarry. Because this is one of the most important things that is lacking in our generation. So they saw the dimension of the manifestation of John the Baptist, and they say, what? Who is this man? How can a man preach in the wilderness? Imagine, in the wilderness. And the Bible said that men were running from Judea, Samaria, and across the Jordan. I asked in chapel that day, I asked one of our daddies that have been to Jerusalem. He said that the distance between Jerusalem and Judea is like from here to Dagu. How can a man be preaching in the wilderness? And men were running from city. Remember, the father of John the Baptist is a high priest in the temple. That man, when he opened the scroll, anything he speaks is from his dead man, is from his dead nature. Because what gives life to man is the voice of God. Outside the voice of God, a man, we don't have direction and we don't have life. Remember, the greatest thing that a man can access on earth is to access the voice of God.